Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we got another team projection episode. Today we got the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex. That's Lewis. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. Sorry, I had to say it again. And today, we're back with another Will Be from our Will Be series. Today, we got the Philadelphia Phillies.
Why are we clapping?
The Philadelphia Phillies. All right. So, in 2021, the Phillies went 82 and 80. If these glasses aren't easy enough, and they went 80. They went 82 and 80. Came second in the NL East, right in front of the Miracle Mets, who blew the division lead. Anyway, 6.5 games out of first. They're the Phillies. I mean, they had the MVP of the National League on their team last year. My MVP, everyone's MVP, the MVP on paper, on Baseball Reference. Don't care what you say.
Not everybody's.
They had the 2021 NL MVP on their team in Bryce Harper. Yeah, they made some moves. I mean, they got some pitching, which is what they needed.
Without a doubt.
Here, hold on. Let me read to you some of their moves here. Sorry. All right. Nick Nelson. They got from the Yankees in a trade. Sir Anthony Dominguez, they re-signed. He avoided arbitration.
Very nice.
Johann Camargo. Johann Camargo, 2022 one-year contract. Nice.
Not too shabby.
He obviously is the third baseman. Corey Knebel, he is a one-year contract as well for a relief pitcher, which is a big theme. They really upped their bullpen this year, which is something they really needed to do after last year. Freddie Galvis left them, signed to play in Japan. That was when he didn't know if we'd even have a season.
Yeah, I mean, I must say it was definitely a interesting, an interesting move.
Yeah, no, interesting move. Let's see what other major league contracts they got here. Jerry's Familia, it's a one-year contract. Brad Hand, one-year deal. Odubel Herrera, one-year deal. And then the big splash is here. Nick Castellanos, a 5-year contract, which is incredible. And, of course, they also got Kyle Schwarber.
Schwarber. You know, they signed Kyle Schwarber.
On a 4-year deal.
Who would have thunk?
They got Kyle Schwarber on a 4-year deal. And then they didn't do much after that. But that is a very good team.
Yeah.
This team is looking a lot better than last year.
I mean, Kyle Schwarber, JT, Nick Castellanos, Rhys Hoskins, Gene Segura, Didi,
Bryce
Alec
Harper.
Bohm.
Bryce Harper.
That guy, very, very solid team.
No, it is. Their main issue right now is their center field position, because Odubel Herrera is currently injured. I don't know how serious that injury is. I don't know if he'll be back by opening day. I don't really know what's going on there, but they need to get that fixed.
You know, I think Bryce Harper would be the starting center fielder come opening day.
I could see it.
Because then
but
you can get all three bats in the lineup and then have an extra bat. I think the Phillies are done making moves. But, I mean, you're paying these guys. You're paying Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos a lot of money, and I don't think that you're paying one of them to just be a DH.
Yeah, they also got Johann Camargo, who can play the outfield. I do think Schwarber and Castellanos will be splitting DH a lot this year. Maybe a little less Castellanos and more Schwarber, but they'll definitely be seeing a lot of DH spots this year. I just think it's something that they're going to have to do to keep these guys healthy, because playing the field every day is not something that they quite do.
Or how about this? With Rhys Hoskins coming back from injury this year, do you think Rhys Hoskins starts as a DH? Kyle Schwarber plays first?
No.
Fair enough. Let me ask you one more time.
He's been ready for a while, and he's been playing spring training. I don't see why they wouldn't put him out at
I
first.
know.
He's their first baseman. I don't think they want to give him any bad impressions.
Bad impressions.
But yeah, this team's nice. Their infield is pretty good, as a man named Big Baby David once said. I'll take that Phillies infield.
Not bad.
And honestly, I'll take that Phillies infield this year. JT Realmuto, Rhys Hoskins, like we said, Gene Segura, who had a really good year under the radar last year, and Didi.
Yankees legend, Didi Gregorius.
Yankees legends, Philly fans hate him, but he can have a good year when he decides to.
Don't forget Alec Bohm at third base, too.
And Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm also has some criticism, but overall, I think Alec Bohm is a pretty good player.
Yeah, definitely. Philly sports fans are very good at not realizing what they have until it's gone, for the most part. So, I'm gonna have to go with this infield is pretty good for the most part.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I want to talk about Gene Segura. I mean, under the radar season last year, he played 131 games. Had a 290 batting average, which is really good. For Gene Segura, not many people remember that. He had almost an 800 OPS. I think people kind of push him under the bus, but he still is a very, very good player in this league. Very underrated, in my opinion.
Underrated for sure. I mean, he really is a proven, solidified second baseman in this league, which is hard to do because, I mean, we saw it last year with Trey Turner moving over. It's just very hard to find those guys.
Yeah.
And
he can do that pretty well.
Yeah, he can do it really well. Don't see any sign of him slowing down yet. I mean, he's still in sort of his prime right now, going on to, his age 32 season. So, I think we're just going to see another solid year out of Gene Segura. Obviously, nothing out of this world spectacular, but definitely not average.
Yeah, my bigger thing in that infield is Didi Gregorius and how
he's legend Didi Gregorius
and how he can play this season, because he had a very, very down year last year. I mean, he missed a handful of games. He played 103 games, 209 batting average, not good at all. Phillies fans hated him. He had a 640 OPS, just not good for Didi. We personally know how he can be. He was on the Yankees for many years, and we watched him. When he gets going, and if he can have a good season, he will quickly become a fan favorite in Philly.
Oh, very, very quickly. I mean, he already has the personality and charisma for it. I mean, it's hard not to like a guy who can do just about anything.
Yeah, it's very hard not to like a guy that can do that.
And if he can just step up the pace and how well he's playing this season, Philly fans will really come to love him. Almost as much as they loved Ben Simmons before he gave up a wide-open layup. It'll be interesting.
I think they don't like Ben Simmons for a few different reasons.
Yeah, I know. But
a lot more to do with just the layup.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Phillies fans should be grateful for Didi. I mean, we're Yankee fans, no bias whatsoever
here. This is fully biased.
But Didi Gregorius is one of the best shortstops I've ever seen play. So, let's see what he's able to do with another full season. Hopefully those woes of the past don't come back, because Didi is a really spectacular player.
I hope not. And I mean, they don't really have much to replace him with at short. I mean, they got Johann Camargo, but he's not really a shortstop. Segura can play shortstop, but then comes the question, who's going to play him at second? So if he has a down year again, they're going to be in a tough spot there, because that's a pretty big position. And if you have a guy not getting it done on offensively, it's kind of like an Andrelton Simmons situation. And we all know, I hate Andrelton Simmons. It's just a thing that
Cubs
I have.
legend Andrelton Simmons to you.
But we know Didi's defense is going to be there. It's more of a matter of, will the offense be there?
And we've seen the bat literally explode. So let's hope maybe with him being surrounded with power hitters once again, as he was in New York, maybe that'll shine through.
You know what? We're going to do an over-under for Didi.
All right.
Over-under a 251 batting average.
Over.
All right. So you're going over. I'm going to go under, so that I can call him Andrelton Simmons, and he comes back to the Yankees and has a monster year.
Why would you want Andrelton Simmons on the Yankees?
No. I want Didi Gregorius on the Yankees.
Don't we all?
I want him to have a bad year in Philly. They don't re-sign him. The Yankees pick him up. Monster year. 2023.
Count me in. Let's see, some other big hitters. Obviously, they did.
We barely talked about Castellanos, Schwarber, JT, Bryce.
Nick Castellanos is, I think, going to be one of my favorite Phillies this year. I think he just has that charisma. He's always been stuck in Cincinnati, and after the 2 very spectacular seasons that he put together the last 2 years, I think Philly fans are really in for quite the spectacle show of nuke shots coming from Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. And I think Nick Castellanos will actually have more home runs than Kyle Schwarber.
That pairing itself is insane.
I mean, that is probably the deadliest 2, 3, 4 in baseball when it comes to just the long ball. I mean, it's going to be Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and then JT. That's a very, very powerful section of any lineup in baseball. It might be one of the most powerful lineups in baseball.
Yeah, so we talked about, I mean, the two new additions and powerful lineups. You said, you think he'll have more bombs than Schwarber this year, but that's...
Yeah, I think he'll have more home runs than Kyle Schwarber. I just have a feeling that Nick Castellanos, he looks so natural, especially in spring training, in a Phillies uniform, that it almost feels like he's going to have like an explosion.
Yeah, but my question is, do you think he'll have him and Schwarber combined? Do you think they'll have over or under 59.5 home runs combined? So both would have to have 30 average.
Over. I think they go over 80.
Over 80? That's 40 each.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, especially in Citizens Bank Park, where they're going to be playing the majority of their games.
Yeah.
I could definitely see them showing some real progression in the hitting department. We don't know what Alex is up to. Normal Dog has left the chat. I think, especially for Nick Castellanos, his power alley is in that right center field area, where in Cincinnati it was pretty deep, and in Citizens Bank it's a lot shorter. So let's hope that he comes in and just mashes the baseball.
Yeah, I was listening. 40 each seems like a lot.
I could
for
see
these
it
two
happening,
guys.
though.
I mean, Castellanos last year had 34, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Schwarber had not quite as many.
But he was injured.
Schwarber had 32. You know, they were both injured for a significant amount of time. I could see 80 happening.
Yeah.
That's something we got to find out. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll see how the Phillies are going to position them in the lineup. I could see them being 2 and 3 in that lineup, or we could see them being 4 and 5. You know?
I see Schwarber leading off. He let off a lot for the Nats last year. I don't know. I see it happening. You know.
I don't know. I could see a world where that happens. I could also see a world where it doesn't really happen. But we'll see.
No, I think in the leadoff spot he was insane. He had like a 12. I had this conversation with someone the other day. He had like a 12, 1.2 something OPS batting leadoff with like 17, maybe not 17, like 12 homers in like 35 games or something. So batting leadoff wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's how it's going to work. He did that on the Nationals because the Nationals didn't have the caliber lineup that these Phillies have. You know?
Yeah. No, that's reasonable.
Because where did he bat when he went to Boston? Didn't bat first.
No, not first.
Batted like 5th.
Yeah. No, he batted... It's a good question.
Because, I mean, we are most familiar as Yankee fans with Kyle Schwarber on the Red Sox, where we noticed that he had a spectacular month last season with the Nationals, which was interesting. I mean, the man just absolutely mashed high fastballs. It was just like it was like a rule of thumb to not throw high fastballs to him, and pitchers kept doing it.
He batted leadoff in the wild card game, so I'm assuming he batted leadoff for the Red Sox.
Did not know that. I feel like the Red Sox would have wanted like somebody else up there, like Xander, batting leadoff. That's impressive. So yeah, Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. Count me in.
You know what? Here, ready? Kyle Schwarber, over, under, 63% of games played in the leadoff spot.
Under.
Okay. I'm going to go over because, like I said, I think he's like a deadly leadoff hitter.
Yeah, but Joe Girardi's their manager.
Okay. What's your point?
I don't think Joe Girardi likes the idea of a power guy batting leadoff.
I think Schwarber will be like, look at these numbers. Look at what I did in Washington and Boston batting leadoff. I can do this. Let me do it. And I think Joe will let him do that. And I think he'll get a good amount of games.
Well, I want to find out. Opening day.
Yeah. If
Right
on opening day if on opening day he is batting first for the Phillies, I think he'll have it for a decent bit of games this season.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, especially if they want him to sort of be a piece, like a weapon almost, because when you get towards the bottom of the Phillies lineup, they do become less intimidating. However, if you do give up a base hit or something, you assume, oh, it's the leadoff guy, we don't need to worry about a big bomb, but it's Kyle Schwarber.
Right. And with Kyle Schwarber, you do need to worry about a big bomb.
Yeah, I mean,
Because he is
they don't
very
call
good.
him Schwarber bombs for nothing.
Nope. Everyone's got a nickname for a reason. We haven't even talked about Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto yet. I mean,
JT is one spectacular catcher.
Bryce is one spectacular baseball player. If any of you don't know, Lewis doesn't like Bryce Harper. He's one of the unnecessary Bryce Harper haters, even though he's one of the most underrated players in the league still, even after winning an MVP. So that's just a little background for Lewis. But yeah, no, I see them having good years themselves. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think JT is going to be an interesting one. Bryce Harper, if they start him in center field, it will be interesting to see because I like the idea of him starting in center and then getting both Castellanos and Schwarber to play the corners. It will be hard to rip Bryce Harper away from right field, but if they wind up having an extra bat in the lineup, I think they're all in on it.
Oh, sorry, another late recording.
Yeah, per usual.
But yeah, no, I see it happening. I could see it. Harper's got the speed to be in center. He's got the arm. I see it. I could see it. I think it'll happen. I just don't think it'll be there every day, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think on getaway days, like, days where they have to then travel that night or so, I don't think we'll see that because they'll want to give one of those guys a rest and Bryce Harper a rest from running around in center. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
It's true, only time will tell. And speaking of time will tell, we haven't talked about their rotation once so far. So, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Kyle Gibson, Ranger Suarez, Zach Eflin. That's a good rotation.
Yeah.
That is a very good rotation. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola have stuff to be a Cy Young contender any day of the week.
Well, Aaron Nola is more of the question mark in my book.
I don't think so. I've seen him in spring training. Last year he was very good under the radar.
Well, he had his great spurts, don't get me wrong, but he also did have a few starts where Aaron Nola at least did get lit up a few times, but then again, every pitcher like that does have their game like that or so.
Yeah, he got lit up a lot, but he also pitched 180.2 innings, which is extremely valuable, especially in today's game. 1.129 whip, 3.37 FIP. I mean, the ERA was up there. I think the high fours, but nothing that can't be fixed. And the stuff that I've seen from him in spring training, he's got the stuff to be lights out.
Yeah, count me in for a lights out season of Aaron Nola. And, I mean, Zach Wheeler, let's touch on him.
Zach Wheeler, Cy Young candidate.
Yeah, runner-up in the Cy Young voting. He really performed spectacular this season.
Yeah, Cy Young.
Last season, that is. And do you think he has another season like that? Because I think he has one better.
Yeah, 100%. He did the same thing in 2020, 2021. He was just as good. He had 3 complete games, 2 complete game shutouts. I don't see why he can't follow it up.
Do you think he wins Cy Young?
No.
No. Okay, I think he does.
I mean, if he can pitch 213 innings, maybe, and he can keep that ERA below 2.5, I'd say. then I see it happening.
It's more than doable for a pitcher like Zach Wheeler.
Oh, it's 100% doable.
However,
I'm not saying
it depends.
Think it's possible.
I think it's not so much on Zach Wheeler because we're going to see a spectacular pitcher do his thing. It's more on the competition at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much of a gamble to say when he had this kind of season last year and didn't even win
the MVP. Yeah.
There's a lot of good pitchers in the league.
Which is great to see, of course. And a lot of great hitters, too. So those matchups, I mean, everyone likes to look out for them. We'll see it a lot with the Phillies being in the NL East, one of the more heavy-hitting divisions in all of baseball, with the Mets, the Phillies, and the Marlins and the Braves, all teams that can really just mash the baseball for the most part compared to the rest of the league. So it'll be interesting to see how these pitchers navigate one of the hardest divisions in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they did it last year. I know there's some new bats, but...
Well, the new bats are on their team for the most part.
Not necessarily. Canna, Starling Marte, Matt Olson. Who else do we got?
Kyle Schwarber and
they barely had to
Castellanos.
face Acuna last year. They
Oh,
got
yeah,
Jorge
Acuna's
Soler,
we'll talk about him
A.B.
later.
Garcia. They got a lot of guys to face in that division. We'll see how they pan out. I think they're going to be great.
Yeah, I think they're going to be definitely guys to look out for. I mean, especially if the Phillies get a Sunday night game where Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola is pitching. That might be one of the most highest viewed Sunday night baseball games of the season.
Yeah.
Because they are just spectacular.
And then another thing that they did with pitching is they upped their bullpen a decent bit. I mean, Corey Knebel, Jose Alvarado, Jerris Familia, Brad Hand, Connor Brogdon, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Ryan Sheriff, Damon Jones, Nick Nelson, Bailey Falter.
Familia?
What do you mean Familia?
Jerris Familia signed with them too.
I said his name already.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Kent Emanuel, Jojo Romero. They really upped their bullpen. Their bullpen was one of the worst in baseball last year. I mean, ERA 25th, WHIP 24th, walks per 9 18th, Ks per 9 13th, hits per 9 26th, home runs per 9 26th. They blew a lot of games that they shouldn't have blown, and the Phillies, they might have had a run for first had that not happened.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of had the same problem as the Angels did last season where their bullpen was just like, putting a sack of potatoes out on the mound for the most part and setting the ball up on a tee. So it's nice to see that the Phillies noticed that, self-recognition, focused on it, and now they are just going to try to go out and do exactly what they did last season, but with a bullpen that should be able to hold leads late into games.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing them actually be able to hold a lead, because if they held leads last year, the Braves might have not won the World Series.
Wow.
Well, they would have been at first.
It's the truth. It's hard to think about, though.
Yeah, no, the Braves, they won 88 games. They lost 73. They only played 161, which I was looking at it, and I was like, why are teams half a game back in this division? That just doesn't make sense. But that's why. And, I mean, yeah, if they can get it fixed out, I think they'll have a good season. Finally, team MVP. Who do you think?
Team MVP. Give me Nick Castellanos.
Okay.
45 bombs out of him.
45 bombs. Jeez.
45 bombs, 120 RBIs.
Okay, that's a lot.
I think he can do it. Barring he stays healthy, of course.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm going to go with Zach Wheeler. I think he's going to have a Cy Young type season.
Good pick.
Hard to argue against.
No, of course.
I mean, with the season he had this year. And yeah, that should do it for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Really, that'll do it. For the Philadelphia Phillies, that'll do it?
That should do it for the Phillies. Will be, if you were wondering how the Phillies were doing this season, or how they're going to do, all of these were pretty much accurate. So don't worry about that.
And obviously, we don't know your team as well as you might if you're a Phillies fan, so feel free to let us know anything that we missed down in the comments.
Of course. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with some more. And Will Bees. And that'll do it. All right, we'll see you. Peace. Ow!